have a collect call from. Press 1 to accept charges. Hey guys, you're tuned in to Press One Podcast, and I'm your host, the Queen Carter. And today I have a special guest by the name of Shane. How you doing, Shane?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. So you drove all the way down from Baton Rouge today?
Right outside of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from New Orleans. Grew up right here, homegrown, out of the 6 Wall Lafitte Project.
Okay.
Maybe around, I think, I was 16, I moved, right? I didn't choose to move. I was forced to move to Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Because a long history of me getting incarcerated, not as an adult, as a juvenile. I think my first arrest, I think I was 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
9 or 10, one of those two. And I think it was for a stolen car. Kind of started off petty, which, growing up in that type of environment, I didn't have a lot of good influences, right? So the influences that I did have, that's what everybody was into, stealing cars.
So you was arrested at 9, you were in New Orleans, or you were in Baton Rouge?
No, I was in New Orleans.
Okay.
I was arrested at 9 years old down here in New Orleans. Went to the juvenile detention center, which is the youth study. Stayed, I think I stayed like 6 months, give or take, something like that. And that was the very first time. But I was at 9 years old. It's crazy. I was so wild, and I was like, love to fight, love to be mischievous, so on and so forth. So anyway, I ended up coming home. I got arrested again when I was 11 years old, right? Now, mind you, I come from a pretty good structured family.
Yeah, so you have a 2-parent home?
I didn't have a 2-parent home per se, but my dad was in my life.
Okay.
I mean, he was really in my life. My dad stayed in Gentilly. My grandmother stayed in the Lafitte Project. Pretty much every day, every other day, I go by my dad's house. May sleep at night, may not sleep at night. And my dad's family is from Plaquemine Parish. So every summer, or mostly every weekend, I go to Plaquemine Parish because my dad was in the military. My dad was in the military, so I go out there by his family, which to me was good because it was country, it was slow, ride dirt bikes, swim in a river, climb up down the levee. As a kid, I needed that away from the violent environment that I grew up in, which is Lafitte Project. So,
how many siblings do you have?
I have, it's me, 3 brothers and 1 sister, so it's 5 of us all together.
Okay.
And thank God all are still living.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
Right. Thank God all are still living and all are doing fine. Of course, we all spread it out throughout because of Katrina. Have brothers stay in Atlanta. 2 of them stay in Atlanta, 1 Washington, D.C. My sister is still here in Louisiana, and I'll get to that in a minute of why she chose to stay here. So after my first stint with the juvenile justice system, I became addicted. I became addicted to committing crime. Like I said, it was all petty crimes. But a crime is a crime. It doesn't matter if it's petty or it's big. So
was it more of just stealing cars? Or?
Yeah, more stealing cars, selling drugs, carrying a gun, a lot of fighting, this hood against that hood, so on and so forth. So at 11 years old, I got arrested again. At 11 years old. A lot of trauma, a lot of trauma. Arrested again at 11 years old for a stolen car and a gun. They ended up giving me 2 years, 11, 12, 13. Came home when I was 13 years old.
So where did you serve that time as a youth?
In LTI.
Okay.
They had a place called LTI, Louisiana Technical Training Institution at the time. But it's something else now. It's like Jetson.
So it wasn't really like a jail. Jail was probably more like a...
No, it was a jail.
Oh, okay.
It was...
it sounded like it's just like something to structure you to stay on path or something.
Well, institutionally wise, every prison is a structured, controlled environment.
Yeah.
Right? Because they number one thing is rehabilitation.
Yeah.
That's what they sell
That's
the
what they
public.
say, yeah.
Right. That's what they sell the public. So, and really, the institutional living of it is crazy because just the dichotomy of it is crazy. Okay, when I first went to juvenile jail, they put me in a box, in a cell, right? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I grew up in the project, so I had just come out of box. I had a neighbor on this side of me, a neighbor on that side of me, a neighbor at the top of me, right? So I was kind of used to staying in a box.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? If that make any sense to you. Yeah,
makes sense.
In poverty. So going to prison was what I found out over the years and years of doing a lot of self-reflection and self-examination. What I found out was coming from the environment that we come from, that I come from, I can't speak for nobody else, that I come from, you'll be immune to situations. Once you put yourself in a situation, you become immune to it. You become adaptable to that situation. And going to prison became adaptability to me because in my little young mind at the time, I was on vacation. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was on, could I get to reunite with all my partners that's in jail? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So,
did you look at it like free food, free? Or just hanging out?
Yeah, just hanging out. I mean, because the food is not nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
The food is not nothing to talk about. So at 13, came home, went right back to jail at 13 for armed robbery. I stayed in jail from 13, 14, 15. Right?
Yeah.
I always had big shots out to my family. They always have been supportive of my delinquent ways. They always have been supportive. Whether I did it, I didn't do it, because my grandmother, I ain't do none of it.
Yeah.
No, indeed, not my baby.
You was her baby, huh? Yeah.
What? Not my baby. My baby ain't do none of that. They lying on him. 15 years old. At 15 years old, with the juvenile justice center done with me was, they said, well, look, this young man keep coming in and out, in and out. Okay, let's try to send him somewhere. Let's try to send him somewhere to help him retransition back into society instead of just releasing him. Because every time I get a juvenile sentence, I do good in jail. Got my GED when I was 15.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Got my GED.
That's good, yeah.
When I was 15, but when I came home, I went back to high school and I graduated too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get into that in 1 second.
I didn't even know it was possible.
Yeah. It is. I'm about to trip you out. Okay. So what they done was they sent me to a group home, right, for trouble youth, all boys facility in Tallulah, Louisiana, called Christian Acres. For some guys, Christian Acres was bad. For me, Christian Acres was good, because when I went to Christian Acres, it was, number one, it was a different culture living, a different structure environment for me that was conducive at that time, I thought, for me. They allowed me to go to school outside of the little camp I was staying in. So I was going to regular public school with everybody else. We go to the movies on weekends. You can get your little summer job, because I was there during the summertime. I ended up getting me a summer job, money in my pocket. They take you to go shopping if you want to go shopping. It became a family per se away from a family. The structured life that I had in my mind, that was the type of living that I wanted to live at that moment. Being around family or the thing. Now, mind you, none of these people is my family.
Yeah.
These people just doing their job, and the other young men that's in there, they just in there because of whatever crime they had committed. They just got the opportunity. Come home from Christian Acres. I was 16 years old, right? So me and my dad, we sat down and talked. Went back to school. Went back to high school, right? Okay, this how I ended up going back to high school. My street name is Shane. My family last name is Johnson. Out the project I'm out of, we have a really known family in my project, right?
Okay.
So I had an uncle named Shane. He ended up getting killed. They started calling me Lil Shane. So everybody that grew up with me, they always thought my name was Shane.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, my name is not Shane. My name is Beverly Johnson. So when I was going in and out of juvenile jails From the very first time, I told them my name was Shane Johnson. And that's all they ever had to go off was Shane Johnson.
Wow.
So when I came home when I was 16, after me and my dad talked, I ended up going back to school. And when I went back to school, I went back under my...
Beverly.
Yeah, Beverly Jones. They didn't have no knowledge of me ever even being in jail or anything. They just thought I was dropping out of school, coming back, dropping out, coming back, so on and so forth. So that's how I ended up going back to school. Graduated from John Mack, the great John McDonald, right? Graduated.
So it was just something you wanted to do, like accomplishment you wanted to do, like graduated from high school?
Yes. For many reasons. One of the biggest reasons was my grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother always wanted to see me finish school.
Yeah, walk across the stage.
Right. I mean, do the whole preppy boy, thing, which I had no problem with it, and I accomplished that for her. So I thought, okay, finish school. My dad, like, what you want to do, so on and so forth. I ended up meeting a chick. Her name was Tracy. She ended up having a kid for me. She was going to Southern at the time.
How old were you?
At this time, I was 17.
Okay.
I was 8. Yeah, I was 17 going into my 18th birthday, right? So we kicking it back and forth. She from Opelousas, Louisiana. I had my grandmother have two sisters there in Opelousas. So I used to go there for the summertime, whenever I can. End up meeting her, we end up kicking it, so on and so forth. So she was going to Southern, right? So she convinced me, hey, man, you're doing pretty good, so on and so forth. You should come out here to Southern. Mind you, she didn't know anything about my past history. In front of everybody's eyes, I was doing good. People was rooting me on. They was praising me. But behind the scenes I was still selling drugs.
Yeah.
I was still caught up into the culture of the drug life, because at that time, that was the way I can, my means can justify my end, if that make any sense to you. So, I'm pushing the envelope, selling drugs. Baton Rouge. I never been to Baton Rouge before. That might be something new for me. Don't nobody know me. So
when you selling drugs and stuff, are you living with your mom, your grandma?
No, I'm living with my grandmother.
Okay.
All right. My mom's is like a sojourner truth, right? My mom's is a beautiful woman with a beautiful soul, with a anger streak that's out this world. You know what I mean? And that comes from her own personal experiences. This is a woman that I love and cherish, and also every woman that I ever met that I was serious about, which it's not too many at all. I always look for my mom's qualities in her.
Yeah. I
think that's one of the reasons that I couldn't never really settle down with a woman, because she didn't live up to the standards of the quality that my mom showed. You know what I mean? In that love and that dedication to just focus on me. You know what I mean? Because like I say, out of all my brothers and my sister, I was the only one going back and forth to jail. Okay. I was the only one caught up into this crazy lifestyle. So all her attention was like, come here, boy, what is wrong with you?
What's wrong?
Yeah, like, what I'm doing wrong. So end up moving to Baton Rouge as a trial. It was like a pilot program for me, right? Okay, let me go to Baton Rouge. But the underlying theme to me going to Baton Rouge was not Southern University, right? Took all the tests, took ACT, got accepted in Southern, everything. Didn't figure out in my mind, well, look, cool, I'm gonna go for business management. That's the easy and most, that's the thing.
Be natural, yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna go for business, so on and so forth. And people always ask me, when did I learn to speak how I speak? I was a drug dealer. Being a drug dealer, you have to have a gift of gab. Conversation is the number one thing in selling drugs, right? So the underlying thing to Baton Rouge was, once I started going to Baton Rouge by my oldest little girl, mom was staying in Baton Rouge. Once I started going to Baton Rouge, I tried to see if they had heroin in Baton Rouge. They didn't at the time. And this was around 96. Mind you, New Orleans, in 94, New Orleans was the murder capital of the world. I mean, it was super violent down here. And if you survived in 94 to make it to 95, 96, 97, I mean, I think that you're a real survivor for us if if you was into the street culture. So went to Baton Rouge. They didn't have heroin in Baton Rouge. So I was trying to push heroin into Baton Rouge. Didn't nobody, my family didn't know. And this is my first time we're talking about this. This crazy. Yeah. My family didn't know anything. Heroin wasn't a thing up there. They had a few people. So I got away from the heroin and I started selling coke again in Baton Rouge, right? 18, 19, I'm staying in Baton Rouge. Going into my 19th birthday, my little girl mama getting pregnant with my daughter. So I'm like, whoa, reality check. I got to slow down. Yeah. What's really going on? I have to figure some things out. Got me a 9 to 5. Got me a regular job. First job ever. Working on back of the garbage truck, jumping off garbage trucks. Yeah. It was a job.
Yeah. Hey.
I went from that and I started working in the grocery store as a regular courtesy clerk, helping people push their stuff to the basket. My personality always have been dynamic. I always been a charismatic person, right? So I ended up making employee of the month at this store for like 3 months in a row. And a position came open as the assistant manager of the meat deli. They asked me, did I want it? I'm like, yeah, that's more money. Yeah. Of course. Took that, end up taking that, end up getting fired from Albertson. My doing, not showing up, we're calling in all the time, being late all the time.
Any reason?
I was just partying on the days I supposed to go to work. I was just living my life. I was just going out every day. I mean, and my little girl mama at the time, she was a country girl. She wasn't used to no city dude, no city nigga. Every day you got to go out. Yeah. Every day I got to go out. I got to hear that beat every day. You know what I mean? So it's like she like, all right, like I said, she didn't really understand it, but so. Once I realized that this working thing, this school thing, living check to check, is not for me.
You went back to the streets?
Yeah, I got fired. I was like, man, you know what? I'm not cut out for that lifestyle. I know where my life at. Yeah. You know what I mean? And what's crazy about that whole situation is, this the crazy part, that propelled me into a life in prison. You know what I mean? And I saw it before it came. Because I'm gonna tell you why I saw it before it came. Instead of me coming back to New Orleans when I got out of school and all that, I had got me a part in Baton Rouge. Pretty much made my bones in Baton Rouge. Had him kind of, kind of like, okay, this part of my roots now. And I was pushing coke real good because they, in my mind, Baton Rouge dudes at the time, not saying that's what it was, they were slower than me. I mean, I'm from the city, if it be all so I can, I can jug a little bit and, make my prices go up and, doing good. They had a little dude that I knew out the Magnolia Project named Orrin Barnes. They call him O. I'm gonna put his name out there. He's a bitch ass nigga, so on and so forth. I started bringing him to Baton Rouge with me. His mama ended up moving to Baton Rouge because he got shot down here. So his mama ended up moving to Baton Rouge, and that made it even much better. Now I have somebody that I know from the city, staying in Baton Rouge, and we running together, right? So he started pushing coke for me. It's a cycle. He started pushing coke for me. I introduced him to some dudes. Instead of them scoring from me, they scoring from him now. So a dude ended up in I'm going into the actual crime of why I went to prison now. Okay. This was 1998, right? Beautiful day outside. This was May. 2 months prior, he told me that a dude jacked him out of 4.5 ounces of coke, right? I told him, don't worry about it, who the dude was. He tell me who the dude was, and I know the dude. I'm like, don't worry about that dude, man. Don't even worry about it. Man, they got plenty more. But, us being street niggas, he just can't let it ride.
His pride.
Right. Yeah. But I'm telling him, I'm letting him know that, man, we have a lot more where that come from. Because the dude I'm scoring from pretty much practically giving it to me for dirt cheap. Don't worry about that. That's part of the game. You just learn from it. That's all. And keep on moving. He wasn't hearing none of that. So 2 months later, in May 1998, me and O, which is was my co-defendant on his charge with me. Me and him plan to go to Lafayette. Every Lafayette during that time in the Acadiana Park in Lafayette, they have a big old thing at the park, right? Like a meet and greet thing. So we was going to Lafayette, and this was on a Saturday, beautiful day outside. Sun is around 11-ish in the morning. We take off, stop at a store. I'm driving. He in the passenger seat. We stop at a store behind the mall. This in Baton Rouge. We stop at a store because they got a little park called Mall City. Number of apartment complexes back there. Stop at a store. He jump out. I'm sitting in the car. They have another car. I remember this like yesterday. Have another car pulled up on side of me. When I looked on side of me, it's the dude that jacked him out the car. Dude, get out the car. Mind you, the dude that's getting out the car that I know, he don't even must know I'm sitting in this car. Get out. They got another guy in the car with him. He get out, go in the store. Soon he go in the store, come out the store, right? And like, man, that go to bitch ass nigga, woo woo. Jump the car, man, that go to bitch ass nigga. I'm like, man, don't worry about that dude. He go in the seat, get the gun. As he getting back out the car, the dude coming out the store. Now, mind you, this not a random act. This a dude that I know. Talking about the dude that got killed.
Yeah.
This a dude that I know, that I had been knowing some time. And we had a little fuse in between, but it never got to the point to where I want him dead, he want me dead. It's a lot of feud over cocaine.
Yeah.
Over him coming up short on money. Me letting him slide. Me going with my move and putting flour in some of it.
Yeah.
So, but it never amounted to where we wanted to physically harm each other. But this not per se, this not my beef.
Yeah,
this my fall partner. So I can't see how he feel about it. Evidently he felt some type of way. Dude coming out the store, my fall partner getting out the car, they met right in between our cars, right? I don't know what was said because the window was up. But I do know that my fall partner shot 1, 2, 3, shot 4 times, right? Shot 4 times, turned to look in the car inside him, where the other guy was sitting at in the passenger seat. That guy jumped out of the car and ran around the building. My fall partner jumped back in the car with me. I drove off. Somebody on the scene got my license plate number.
Yeah.
Got my license plate number. I think I had like 2 traffic tickets in Baton Rouge under the name Shane Johnson. Not Beverly Johnson.
Yeah.
Mind you, I had never been to a jail as an adult. This was my first time as an adult getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As my name being ran in a system. So somebody ended up getting my license plate number. Where I was staying, and I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Look, I'm going to jump a little bit. Where I was staying was right by a Blockbuster. I used to always rent movies from Blockbuster. Remember this old school stuff here. They showed a sketch of me. The girl that worked at Blockbuster, mom is a police, and she said, oh, that's the dude that's still around the corner. Police, the detective go to my house. I'm not home. I had him took off, came back down here, right? My BM tell me about everything. I fled the scene. That was May 2nd that happened. May 21st, I was by my mom's house on Cortez in Mid-City, right here in New Orleans. Task Force and all them, the bounty hunter and all them came to the house. You know, broke the door down early one morning and so on and so forth, put everybody at the table, try to trip you out. Put everybody at the table. So that wasn't their first time coming to the house. I was wanted on first-degree murder and on robbery. The reason being on robbery was because my fall partner got caught May 6th, where he turned himself in. May 6th. When he turned himself in, he turned the story around and put me as the shooter. I had never gave my side of the story to any detective. And he told a detective that I robbed I tried to rob the dude out of 35 cents. Yeah, that's crazy. What could you do with 35 cents trying to rob somebody, right? So
have you ever spoke to the person that was murdered about their situation, or you say you just stayed out of it?
that was murdered?
Yeah.
What
The
you
guy
mean?
that got shot. You saying the guy that the passenger had shot the other guy in the car, right?
Okay. No. My fall partner shot the driver.
Yeah, with the driver. So
Right.
have you ever spoke to the driver about the situation with the passenger?
Nah, the driver died.
Yeah, but I was saying before that happened.
Oh,
so when
no.
he told you, you said let it go, but then you never had talked to
Yeah,
him about it.
no. It was my intent.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't went back behind the mall. Because like I said, the jacking happened 2 months before that, like in March. Like in March. And I had, I didn't went back there to try to look for him and talk to him. Man, look, man, that was my stuff you got.
Yeah.
All that so on and so forth. Let it go. I'm gonna talk to him. Just whenever you get around to him, just pay us something off it. But we had never ran across each other. That was our first encounter that day.
Yeah. Okay.
Know what I mean, so I ended up getting. So when the police broke in the house, right? Tripped you out. Police broke in the house. Well, not broke in the house, but they came in. Everybody sitting at the table. This was a regular routine. When the police, when they come looking for me, everybody sit at the table. We all sitting at the table. So one of the detectives said, "Who is you?" I'm like, "Oh, my name Beverly." I'm like, "You sure?" He looking at the picture. I'm like, yeah, man, Shane, my brother. Know what I mean, everybody said we kind of look like each other. Like, man, you got identification? I still had my student ID. Still had my regular state ID. I give my identification, right? Give him my identification. He leaves. Go outside for a few minutes, and my mom's, both of my little brothers, because my sister was in there, both of my little brothers, both of them looking at me like, I'm like, I'm looking at him like, don't say I might can get away.
Exactly.
Never know. So the guy came back in. When he came back in, he had a woman with him. The woman had on a FBI jacket, right? So soon as she walked in, she whispers up to the dude. Dude hacked me up, put handcuffs on me, took me outside. Come to find out, that same woman, I didn't know, in 1996, they had an investigation on our project for drug dealing, right? And like 17 dudes at the Lafitte project got arrested. I was on the list to get arrested, but I ended up going to jail. I ended up going to juvenile jail for a minute, and they hadn't been investigating us for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, for drug dealing. Didn't even much know it, but that's how she know who I was.
Yeah, she like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've been watching him a year and a half.
For a long time. So, all right. Fast forward the story a little bit. My fall partner was willing to testify that I'm the one. I was the shooter, so on and so forth. I was young. Didn't know anything about the law. Confused about the judicial system.
How old were you at that time?
I was 20.
Okay.
I was 20 years old when I got arrested. I had just made 20. I had just made 20 January of 98. I got arrested May 21st of 98. So I was totally oblivious to the legal system, right? So family ended up giving me a little knockoff lawyer. His advice was, man, this your first offense, so on and so forth. You know how the story goes. We can cop out to this. They ain't gonna give us no cap. I've been trying to talk to them to put a cap on it. You can't get more than 10 years or 15 years. But everything mitigation, you have a good family, so on and so forth. Wow. Mind you, I'm in jail under Shane Johnson because that's what my fall partner told them.
Yeah.
When they caught up with me, I didn't tell them anything different. I left it as Shane Johnson. They didn't have anything to cross-reference Beverly with, my real name.
Yeah.
And I gave him a fake social security number, right? I pled guilty to a crime I didn't commit. And a lot of people ask me why. I avoided a life sentence. I avoided, in my mind at that time, potentially dying in prison. Know what I mean? And I was sentenced to 40 years, which is a practical life sentence, right? I was expected to do 34 years after 40 years. I didn't do 34
So
years.
how did you feel in the courtroom that day when you heard that?
The 40 years?
Yeah.
I felt confused. I mean, honestly, I felt confused. I felt a lot of anger. And I was angry at my forward partner. I wanted to kill that bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
Real talk. I mean, hands down. I mean, but thank God for grace and mercy. Know what I mean, forgiveness. Because I forgave him. Got a chance to meet with him face to face when he came to prison.
So did they ever try to fight it with the weapon and fingerprints? And...
They didn't have any of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They didn't have no gun. They didn't have no fingerprints. They just had some eyewitness saying that, hey,
that's a car.
that's the car right there. But later on down the line, they had a lot of people saying, man, I wonder why, man, why you didn't reach out? I was there that day. I know you didn't shoot this guy. I know you didn't. It was the other dude that done it. But I wasn't thinking about none of that. I was so furious and focused on my fall partner. Because this a dude that I took away from using heroin.
Yeah.
I was never a drug user. I think I smoked weed like 5 or 6 times in my entire life. Like really smoke. I probably hit it one time and give, but drugs was never. I never got the excitement of getting high.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Now in prison it was a different story. I did dibble and dabble of using it more as a coping mechanism to try to escape my reality. Not too often because I wanted to face my reality at the same time. But my number one pet peeve about drugs was I never felt control of myself when I used drugs.
Yeah.
Never. I never felt like I was on all 10 toes standing on my squat when I'm high.
Exactly.
If I feel like I'm high and I'm not on all 10, anybody can take advantage of me. And I never wanted to be in a situation where somebody can take advantage of me for whatever reason, for whatever demonish reasons they got in their head. I never wanted to feel like somebody can just take advantage of me.
Exactly.
Because I know I was too smart. I know I was too witty to let somebody just run down on me if I'm sober.
Yeah.
So why get high and be slipping? So that was my whole thing. But in the courtroom that day, I felt a lot of anger.
How was your family's reaction?
It was devastating.
Yeah.
My family was devastated. I mean, they was devastated because everybody thought I was going to get lesser time than I actually did, being this was my first offense. Because technically speaking, they didn't have a juvenile record. I mean, they couldn't even open up my juvenile file and look at what I had done as a juvenile. That was that day. And the judge quoted this. She said, Mr. Johnson, if you would have been 17, 18, or 19, I could have choked this up as immaturity. But you're 20 or 21 years old, which is a reasonable adult. That's why I just can't chalk it up as immaturity. And I remember those words vividly. Know what I mean? So, got sentenced to the 40 years. Had to do 34 years over 40. Right? Went into the prison system. Young, wild. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. And in my prison stay, they have disciplinary reports, right? Which is write-ups. That's what you... I think I got every write-up in the book.
Damn.
I think I had 263 write-ups.
Yeah.
But...
That's a long time you looking at.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Now, in prison right fast, because I don't like to dwell on it, but in prison right fast, I was a leader in prison. It wasn't overnight. It took a long time for me to fix myself before I can fix other guys, right? So I got into education was always my thing. Education, I was always education. I'm on it. So going into the prison system, I leaned into sports and education. Sports and education. Of course, I rebelled, and I just say I had a lot of write-ups as well. But I got into a lot of the self-help programs because I like that word, self-help.
Yeah.
That means I'm helping myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because in order for you to have any type of effect in this world, you have to first effect yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This podcast, as it move forward and grow, you have to stay true to your true identity.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's how people going to connect to you. And that's how it was in prison for me. That's how people connect to me because I was always authentic. And I'm always telling you the truth, whether you like it or you don't like it. It's your feelings. You'll get over, man. And they ain't nothing but feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got into the self-help programs, ended up picking up, I think, 5 trades. 5 trades, 5 or 7 trades.
Where do you first go to at the time?
Okay, everybody go through, majority everybody from down south, from Southport, Louisiana, from Alexander on down, we pretty much go through hunts. Anybody that go from Alexander on up go through David Wade as a receiver.
Okay.
Right? So everybody from pretty much down here go through hunts, but that don't mean that you're going to stay at hunts. For me, I went to hunts, stayed at hunts a couple of months, went to Angola. Right?
Okay.
When I got to Angola, probably 4, 5 months, 7 months into my stay at Angola, I was in a dorm. Another guy told me, I was in a dorm with the cousin of the dude I was on the charge for. So another dude from Baton Rouge that I was in Baton Rouge Parish with, slid up to me, was like, man, say, homie, you know, dude, that's his blood. And, you know, niggas telling him, and he won't do something. Well,
I gotta do something to you.
he won't do something. I'm with that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. God is good again. God have always had his hands on me, but I couldn't understand the purpose. I understand it better now. I haven't figured it all out yet.
Yeah.
But I understand the purpose of my existence now better than I did once before. My lawyers, my mom's got told. No, my mom's. I think I told my mom. I told somebody, but I told my mama what happened with the situation with the guy being in the dorm. This was just between me and her, I thought. My mom's went back to my lawyer. My lawyer got me moved. Just one morning, kicked my bed. Well, one Sunday night, kicked my bed, said, hey, man, you getting shipped. Well, I'm getting shipped to hunt. Was the best thing that ever could have happened to me in my prison stay and in my maturity as a man.
Yeah.
That was the best thing that ever happened because Angola live in 1949 right now today.
Yeah, I know.
Those dudes, not speaking bad on the dudes, but you have less access to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Being at a place like Hunts or DCI and WCI, you have, because guys are steady going home. Guys are that revolving door is always open. So you have fresher guys that's coming in, keeping you up on the lingo in a culture of what's going on in society. Know what I mean? So when I got shipped to Hunts, that's when I got into the programs and all this here. Got into the self-help programs. I mean, really, really threw myself into it because I wanted to help myself at the same time, help a lot of other brothers as well. Throughout my years of my incarceration and my maturity grew, I realized that, number one, I was a leader. Number two, that I had the ability to inspire men that was around me.
Yeah.
Not by what I'm saying, but how I live my life. Even though I live according to a prison genre, I lived a double life because I'm part of the clubs. I'm a president of a club, so I gotta put on my suit and tie when I walk out around administration. When I gotta, when just say if something happening going on in the prison that guys don't like, they file a complaint about it. I'm the representative that have to go talk to administration about this complaint to try to rectify it or at least meet in the middle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I have to put on my suit and tie. I have to get real diplomatic and political and go up there.
Yeah,
that's fine. But when I'm back on the yard, when I'm back in the dorm, I'm back Shane. I'm back trapping. doing my thing on my cell phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and like I said, a lot of guys, younger guys, they were drawn to me. But the recipe for my success that I always delivered to other men was, you have to understand something. Every arena that you walk into, you have to know how to put on that hat. Mm-hmm. If you walk into a business arena, you have to be a businessman for that moment. I mean, if you're some street stuff, because that's where we from, that's a natural. To see that's naturally going to come out. Know what I mean? So you have to know how to switch roles, but at the same time, don't lose your identity in the role.
Yeah. Because
a lot of times, for about 3 or 4 years, I lost my identity in prison. I'm talking about I was wilding so.
How old were you think?
I probably at that time was in my early 20s, going into my latter part of my 20s. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at, okay, I got to do this much time, and this way y'all want me to do it at? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to live the way I want to live. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody going to stop that. Mm-hmm. But God always put people in my life to snap me back to reality.
Yeah.
To pull me, hey, Shay, man, you tripping, you're a leader. You're supposed to be doing this, you don't supposed to be doing that. People look at you, people respect you. Mm-hmm. Don't lose that. And in prison, that's the biggest thing you can lose is your respect, especially from your fellow peers.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no respect then, hey, I mean, you know, they got wolves hovering, vultures around you all day long. Mm-hmm. You can't never let your guards down. You can't never get so mighty to where you feel like ain't nobody gonna ever try you. Mm-hmm. Nah. I mean, they got a new breed of, right now, they got a new breed of prisoners. Younger guys right now come straight off the street, go in jail, and they want 2 things. They want a knife and a phone, or a phone and a knife, however it come. Why is that? Because on the streets, they hold switches out here. Mm-hmm. That's how they defend themselves. So when they get off the bus going to jail, they have to defend themselves. They don't know nothing about no fighting. Yeah, I mean, they would fight if they one-on-one, if they had to. But I'm on the street, I'm going to grab a gun. In jail, I'm going to grab a knife. Know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but moving right along, my prison stay was bittersweet, Queen. My prison stay was bittersweet because I had, it was bitter because I lost a lot of my life. I lost a lot of my life in prison. I lost a lot of fine people that I cared about along the way. My mom's still living. My grandmother passed on me. My dad passed on me. My aunts passed. I had one aunt that I called my mama. She passed after I got out, and that was her biggest hope.
Yeah, to see you get out.
Not only that, she was at my wedding.
Oh.
I got out and I got married. Mm-hmm. She was there, and she passed mere months after that. To me, that was like, I seen my boy come home. I seen him get married. Yeah. Now I can go, he all right now. I know he all right.
So how was the visitation for you all those years? Like,
I had visits regular. I had regular visits. None of my brothers ever came see me. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's their personal choice, and I never held it against them. I had never had no resentment because I always remember when I went to jail. My family wasn't millionaires or balling. My family was living below poverty.
Yeah.
So just because I'm in jail, that don't mean they have money.
Exactly.
I mean, so that's why I never really called home for money. I know they don't have it. They're struggling with what they have, so why add on to the burden of that?
Exactly.
I'm in jail. Not 3 hots in the cot, but I'm a hustler. So I know how to get me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but out of everybody, my aunt, the one that passed, who I called my mom's, every Sunday, every other Sunday, she come in. My sister, love that beautiful soul. The reason why my sister didn't move after Katrina, when Katrina hit, she went to San Antonio. She came back. The only reason she came back to Louisiana because she said, man, my little brother in jail. Mm-hmm. I'm not leaving until he get out. Yeah. But of course, she done made her home here after I'm home. Yeah. So 2022. Let's talk about 2022.
That's when you got released?
That's when I got released. Let's back up a few years, about 8 years before that. God allowed me to meet a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. in the prison system. She was a correctional officer in the same prison that I was in. I had never seen her before. Just so I was working in the kitchen as a baker because I love to cook. I love to bake. I'm more better at cooking than baking though.
Okay.
But I'm okay at baking. She came in one morning to do something I don't know, and that was my first time was seeing her. And when I saw her, I was like, damn, she bad. Who that is? I asked some of the guys around me, like, who is that? They're like, oh, I don't know. I ain't never see her. Went back outside. I had to go make my way just to see her. So I walked out there, spoke to her. She spoke back. A couple of days later, I saw her again. We conversated. This went on for like maybe 2.5 years. Give or take, right? We was kind of getting under the gun. People started noticing it, so on and so forth. She made a decision. She had a decision to make.
Quit her job, or go out in handcuffs, right? So we talked about it. She came to work one day, and we talked about it. And I told her, I gave her my word. If you decide to choose to follow my lead, allow me to lead you as your man, as long as you're without a job, I'm going to make sure you and your family is taken care of. And she made a decision. She quit. And that was in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. For 5 straight years, they never missed a meal. They always kept food in the house. All the bills was always paid. I done a calculation one time right before I went home. I don't know why. I went through my Cash App and I was just looking at how much I cashed out her. And I cashed out to like $13,000 in like 8 months. Yeah. And it's for bills, just for this going on, that going on, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to say it wasn't a struggle for her because it was. A lot of her family turned against her because she made that decision. What? A nigga in jail. That nigga gonna come home just like all the rest of them. A lot of her friends, turned their back on her. Know what I mean? So me being a man and me asking a woman to sacrifice her career, because she had been doing this for like 16, 17 years. That's a long time. Yeah. That's retirement going into with good benefits. For me to ask a woman to sacrifice her life for the betterment of me, I would have been a damn fool not to come home and keep it 1,000 with her. And that's what I have done. Yeah. Came home 2022. Check me out. Went in front of parole board, right? Went in front of parole board. God is good all the time. He was good. Went in front of parole board. And the people asked me how many write-ups did I have? Because the people didn't have no paperwork on me in front of them. Nothing. The only thing, and what's crazy is, my sentencing judge was on a parole board. She had to acknowledge that, hey, Mr. Johnson, I see I was the sentencing judge. I don't remember the case, but do you want me to still stay on the board or recuse myself? I said, no, ma'am. I need you here to stay on the board to show you the man I am today, opposed to the young, insane kid I was back then. Yeah. People asked me how many write-ups I had. I told the people the number. The people were like, no way. No, we don't see that. I'm like, excuse me? So I'm about to argue with the people back and forth. Yeah. So the man said, hold up. He looking at something for. He said, man, you have 10 write-ups. I said, oh, okay. And I let it go. Right? Okay. My parole hearing, my niece spoke. My fiance spoke. The victim family spoke. His sisters and his ex-wife, his widow, the widow, all of them spoke. They spoke first. When they spoke, all the air left out the room. All the energy was gone. Everybody in administration was saying, and the woman had wrote denied on her paper. They thought it was over with. Man, Shane ain't gonna... Excuse me. So the family felt like you were responsible still?
Yes. You know why? Because the story I just told you is my first time ever telling anybody that. Yeah. Everybody always thought I done it, and I never told them different. You know what I mean? Why? When I first came in, I said, man, I forgot my paperwork. I got police reports where my fall partner told on me. I got police reports where I said nothing. The only thing I said, look, I got an attorney. I want to look, I want to talk to my attorney. But I never kicked that story. So in front of the parole board, I had to take full responsibility of a crime that I didn't commit. Why did I do that? A fool will do that.
Yeah.
An educated man understand the dynamics of what's going on. I want freedom. I pled guilty to this crime. So why would I go in front of the parole board after 24 years and say, no, I didn't do this?
So what about your fall partner? Like,
what about her?
Do you know where he's at?
Yeah. I mean, he locked up. He got 20 years now.
Okay.
I mean, I don't wish death or jail on nobody, but every man have to, lay in his own bed once he make it. Know what I mean? So, and like I say, probably about 10 years into my jokes, he came through Hunts, and he told on me again. When he came through Hunts, he told the people, my fall partner up here, Shane up here, I don't feel safe. I think he gonna kill me. So they had to take me and put me in a cell. Know what I mean? So, the family spoke, back to parole hearing. The family spoke. My family spoke. And at the end of every parole hearing, I don't know if you know it or not, at the end of every parole hearing, they ask me or ask the offender, do you have anything to say before we make a decision? I had plenty to say. Because I needed them to look beyond the paper that was in front of them. They see the accomplishments. They see the trades. They see the self-help program. They see I started a founder of an organization that still exists inside of prison called Civic Leadership Association. CLA. Civic is just a public leadership. I ain't going to go into the whole dichotomy of what leadership mean, but it's crazy. But I started that, and that's still in prison and is accredited good time class that dudes get.
Oh, that's good.
I was the founder of that. Thank you. Thank you.
That sounds big.
So I spoke. Queen, I spoke. And I put it on the line. I mean, I laid it all on the line. I went out, period.
So did you ever tell the family that you didn't do it?
No, I never had an opportunity to.
Yeah.
And I know some people that know the family, right? But I'ma stay away from that situation.
Okay.
I'ma stay away from it. I just pray. I just constantly pray for his family that they receive the closure of me doing the 24 years.
Yeah.
Even though they was opposed to me making parole, they had that right. But I just continue to pray that they have that closure. That's why in Baton Rouge I'm so careful on, because I stay on the opposite side of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But I go to Baton Rouge a lot. A lot of things that I do is in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But I'm forever mindful. I'm forever cautious on where I move and how I do things. And
I know a lot of families feel like, oh, they got out, so they still feel like a person lost their life, but the person that murdered them got out. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, they have the right to feel like that. Anybody should have the right to feel like that.
Yeah.
So I spoke at my parole hearing. I spoke for 42 minutes. The people told me at the parole board, hey, young man, just wrap it up. I'm steady talking. And the guy that's sitting next to me, which is at the time was a head warden, a good friend of mine now, he kicking my feet, and guess what he whispering? Keep talking. Keep talking. Because he see the shift.
Yeah.
He see the shift. I mean, he can feel the shift. And just the way the parole board, now they intently listen. They sitting up on these tables now, like intently, like, okay. So the man like, Mr. Johnson, we have to vote, shut it down. I kept talking. We have to vote, shut it down. The man finally said, Mr. Shane Johnson, be quiet.
Yeah.
Shut up. We have to vote. Yes, sir. 2 voted for me, 1 voted against me. By me being on a murder charge, now it's on the chairman of the board to make the decision. The chairman of the board came on and said, congratulations, Mr. Johnson, you have made parole. That was, how can I say it? And that's crazy. That's the only time I tear up when I talk about that. Because all the work, all the sacrifice, all the dedication, all the commitment that I made to myself to redo who I am, right? And not allow anything, any distraction to get in my way was accomplished on that day. I understand that was a temporary accomplishment because now I'm coming in back into society where I have to really leave my mark again. You know what I mean? But
so you're on probation?
Parole.
Parole.
Yeah, I get off parole 2038. Right. So that
you're still on eggshells.
Yeah, I'm still on eggshells. Still on that fine line. I have a good parole officer. He allowed me to travel, which we about to transition into. But he allowed me to travel. But I came home. That was February 2nd, 2022. I came home February 17th, 2022. My fiance at the time, my girl was there. My stepdaughter, which I'm sorry, Mackenzie. I'm sorry, Noelle. She don't like me calling her step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's my
your
daughter.
daughter.
Yeah, that's my daughter. I mean, that's my, like I said, I can't stop saying that God is good because I lost a whole life of my biological. But look, I have another one. I mean, so they was there. Big shout outs to one of my mentors. I have 3 mentors right now while I'm home. I have 3 mentors. One of them is my uncle, Derek Campbell. They call him Buck. Another one is a guy named Kiana Calloway. Call him Kiki from right here off the West Bank. Another guy named David McLaughlin. David McLaughlin is the owner of Lucia's Kitchen in Oakwood Mall.
Okay.
If you ever get a chance, it's the only soul food spot
I think I've seen it,
in Oakwood. And he have Twisted Burger in the Riverwalk, right? So he a restaurant owner, know what I mean? So that's my 3 mentors. Why they my mentors? Because those guys have served time and they got it together.
Okay.
They doing some positive things. They making change. When I came home, my Uncle Buck was the very first one. I came home that night, the next day. Yeah, the very next day, he like, hey, nephew, what you doing? I'm in La Place. Come down here. I got something for you. Went down there, wrote me out a check. A nice check, too.
Yeah.
Said, here, open up a bank account. I didn't know that you had to have identification and Social Security and all that. I went to the bank and said, yeah, I will put this in my account. Like I already had an account with the people. People like, whoa.
Yeah, like make an account, yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is Kiana is a brother, is a dear brother, close to my heart. He was there when I that night I came home with his whole fuming crew. I mean, because he into fuming.
Okay.
He was there. We're in the process of making a documentary. It's a far way process. It's a while before, because like I said, I have to process. I haven't processed everything. Dave, my partner Dave, my mentor Dave, he called me up and like, hey bro, what you need? I'm like, look, I got a car. I don't know what's wrong with it. He like, I'm on my way right now. Went to get a battery, so on and so forth. Just like, I'm home like a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Got a car. So, God is good. Here we go again, Queen. God is always good. Since I've been home, can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Since I've been home, God is great. 10 days, 17 days after I was released, first thing I went to Louisiana workforce, try to get a job, see what was all out there. Woman set me on the computer and told me do this. I just done 24 years, man. I don't know, a computer. Okay, let me try to figure it out. Know what I mean? So anyway, showed the woman all my certifications. I have 7. I have 7 certifications. Just accredited trades that can go anywhere in the world. Well, sir, they don't have anything available. I have a friend that work at Wendy's. I can get you on at Wendy's. And the average thinking person would say, hey, anywhere, any start is better than none, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not working at Wendy's because I'm not average.
Yeah.
Straight up. No. Wendy's? No, I don't want to do Wendy's.
Especially with all those trades you got.
Right. So I knew somebody. I stay in Iberville Parish, right? I know somebody that know the sheriff, the head sheriff of Iberville Parish. He took me this 15 days after I'm home, took me to the head sheriff's office. I sat down, introduced myself to him, and told him my story. And told him, look, sir, I'm staying in your parish. I'm not here to do anything crazy. I need a job. I have a family I have to provide for them. The man got me. 2 days later, I gave my information. 2 days later, somebody called me and told me to go to Prairie View to an office, sent me an address. Walked in the office, everything was already laid out. Tell me God ain't good.
Yeah, God is good. Walked
in the office, everything was laid out. Gave the man that particular certificate dealing with painting and blasting. He said that, look, man, the job only starts you off at $18 an hour. I said, no, man, the guy who I talked to told me more than that. Let me call him on the phone. Call the guy on the phone who set me up with the job. He gave the phone to the hiring center manager. Okay, yes, sir, it's done. Well, look, we saw Mr. Johnson. You're going to start off at $24 an hour.
Gotta speak up.
17 days out of jail.
Yeah.
$24 an hour in a plant.
Yeah.
Without a TWIC card. Only working off the receipt because the plant required TWIC, but they allowed me in.
Yeah.
God have always played your pedal in the background with my life. I did never realize it. The kicker is to all that is this. I went to prison as Shane Johnson. I lived my life as Beverly Johnson. I don't have a criminal record.
Wow.
Police run my name that comes back with never been arrested. On paper, I still pay my PO under Shane Johnson. But in everyday society, I have equal opportunity because I don't have to put that I committed a crime on my application just like you would.
Yeah. So that's a huge error on there.
That's a huge that's a huge advantage that God played in my favor. Of course,
yeah, for you, yeah.
Right. And my first name is Beverly.
Yeah.
So I never put Mr. or Mrs. on nothing. Right? Because why? When people see, or I never check the ethnicity block, black or Hispanic. I never check that. Automatically, when somebody look at it, they're going to look at the name and go down to race and crime. With me, you can't do any of that. And I have a woman's name, so they always get back with me and say, Miss Beverly Johnson, we just calling her. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, this him. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, since I've been home, just what I have going on. I've been working every day since I've been home. The whole 2 years and 5 months I've been home. Now, I was local in Louisiana. I end up stopped being local. I end up going on the road doing the same craft. I end up going on the road, which pays an astronomical number. I mean, a week. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
What the? In the process of that, I started my own painting company called BMD Self-Washing Paint.
Okay.
BMD Self-Washing Paint. If y'all need painting service, y'all reach out to that. BMD Self-Washing Paint. Soft wash is the same as pressure washing, except it's just a different method. Soft wash been around about 25, 30 years. A lot of white boys into soft wash. Us as black men, we pressure wash.
Yeah.
Pressure wash in the community we live in, pressure wash damaged siding and wood. Soft wash restores it.
Okay.
And we have a product. We have a product that I use. I'm not gonna name the product.
Oh, you making some?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a product that that have a 5 to 7 year respiration period in it. So it restores the wood of the siding for at least 5 years. That's where the mold and algae don't even must come back.
Okay.
And if it do come back, we're 100% guaranteed to come redo it free of charge.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, free of charge. So once a client, always a client.
Y'all got a website and everything?
We have a web.
I was like, I put it up there for you. But
Okay,
we just do the number or whatever.
No, I think I just have the Google search thing.
All right.
We'll
put it up there.
Okay, most definitely. Okay, so I started my own business as well as
you have employees?
I have 2 employees. They work, from time to time. It's not steady employment only because the company that I work for now, I be gone so much.
Yeah.
So whenever work do come up in Louisiana, somebody email or reach out to me, I pass it on to them. So they go do the job. They do it under my company. Yeah. I just be going away. But it's just like me doing the job. And my daughter, Mackenzie, big shout out to Mackenzie. She is my invoice personnel. She the one do all my invoices. My wife, Odessa, she responds to emails. She do all the logistics.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? I believe in this. What I believe. This what I believe in. I believe in having a vision, and not only having a vision, understanding the people around you and what they need to do to execute that vision. Because everybody have to play a role in that one particular vision.
Yeah.
I mean, if you believe in something, the people around you, you have to make sure you can delegate things and not whipping that whip on their back to make them get it done. Just whatever their role is, just let them naturally play their role. And also, I'm in talks of selling about 5% of mine. Boy, this is the first time I'm saying this too. I mean, yes, you getting all the hot tea. You getting all the little queen. I'm in process of merging my company, or talks. We in talks of merging my company with the company that I work for.
Okay.
So I work for this company and get a check, and also I get a percentage of each PO that they close out for using my service as well, for just carrying my name. Know what I mean? So we gonna keep our fingers crossed on that. We're going to keep our fingers crossed on that.
Your products.
Yes,
growing.
I'm also, me and Kiana, which is my brother, one of my mentors, we started a thing called ISSC. ISSC is a nonprofit. It's under Stop Louisiana's coalition. We're umbrella under them. ISSC stand for Impacted Solitary Survivors Council. Impacted Solitary Survivors Council. Reason being is a lot of guys do solitary confinement time while they're in prison. Because I've done like 17 years in the cell. Not all at one time, but I did do over 200 and something days straight in the hole.
Wow.
In the cell by myself. I ain't know sometime with the day or night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just in that thing. I thought so much, I ran out of thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So our goal is to try to help eliminate or give a alternative for solitary confinement. What could they do different than putting somebody in a cell for that long just because he or she got a reputation? So we campaigning out of 126 parish jails that's in Louisiana.
Yeah.
We have the ear of maybe 4 or 5 sheriff's officers. We also connected to 500 different other non-profit organizations. We have a lot of faith-based leaders that's helping us on this plight as well. So, we have good momentum. We have, around the whole prison advocacy thing, we have good momentum going. Everything is timing, everything is patience, everything is just pacing yourself in this journey, because if you run it too fast, you'll get burnt out. And everybody else lap you maybe 2 or 3 times. So it's all about patience and My uncle gave me something, gave me a jewel when I first came home. He told me, he said, man, nephew, starve your distractions and feed your focus. Mm-hmm. Starve your distractions. I mean, because they have a lot of distractions.
Yes, definitely.
They have a lot of distraction. In 2 years and 5 months, I have ran across 1 million distractions, but nothing have distracted me. I always kept my focus. Because I understand what I want to accomplish within the next 5 years from now. I want to see my family in this situation in the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. Because it's a wild dream. I never flew on an airplane yet.
Wow. Why not?
Because I want to own a plane before I fly.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, period. I mean,
Stick to the goal.
Yeah, nothing else need to be said.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
I want to own a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Before I fly. So I never flew on an airplane.
Yeah.
Thus far.
So you say you still adjusting after 2 years. Like, how do you feel how are your thoughts day to day? Like, do you have like flashbacks of certain things? Like you said, you did solitary time and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I have flashback regular. Some of it I share, some of it I don't share. Some of it I see it, look at it, and just laugh. And I'm gonna give you one instance, right? I was working in Geismar, Louisiana, in a plant, and they had some guys doing some implementations, rewiring some dangerous stuff that was hooked to one of the chemical tanks. And it's highly explosive. So these guys got to know what they're doing. They probably 50 yards from me. So I can see them pretty good. The guys drive up in a van, an all-white van, bust open their back doors, jump out. They get out. Both of the guys have on bright orange jumpsuits. Open up their back doors, get all their tools and everything, set everything on the ground, and they working, right? Mm-hmm. So those guys working. I put under the caption, in every facet of our life, something always reminds me of institutions.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? This is two men that have bright orange jumpsuits on. And when I looked, the first thing hit my mind was when I went to jail, that's what they gave me, an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Why do they give prisoners orange jumpsuits? That's the big question. Orange is the symbol of hope. Without telling you that.
Yeah.
When you enter prison, they give you an orange. Well, some people get white.
Yeah, white and black.
Yeah, they all depend. But at one time, it was just strictly orange. And the reason why they give you orange is because it's the symbol of hope. But people don't know those things. That's why prisons are color-coded with the soft colors and the hard colors. Mm-hmm. You go to the hole, it's soft colors. Psychologically, they want you in a good space. Even though you're stuck in a box, they want you in a good space. And we don't process that information. It's just something that
they sit down, study.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you have to get good as an inmate. You have to get good you have to do some studying too.
Exactly.
You have to realize what's going on. What's the grand scheme? Mm-hmm. What's really going on here? Know what I mean? So that's one instance, but it don't traumatize me to the point I'll be like I'm frozen.
Yeah.
It's not that. So they have a lot of things that I see that reminds me of institutions. Some people ask me, am I institutionalized? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why I'm not. Before I came home, before I was released at prison, I mentally and spiritually matured out of prison. Prison wasn't big enough to hold me any longer, mentally and spiritually. I was just physically captive there. But mentally, I had been matured out of prison. Because some of the classes that I used to teach dudes in prison, I used to teach dudes financial literacy. In prison.
Yeah.
How to start a bank account. how to keep your credit good, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. And guess what? I live by those principles right now today.
Yeah.
I can walk on any car lot and get anything I want and don't have to put $1 down. I mean,
Yeah.
because of, and that comes from a lot of the cell phone, the illegal cell phone that I
Yeah.
had in prison. They wasn't for play. I mean, every now and then I entertain myself on social media, but mainly that was a resource
Yeah,
tool.
study or something.
Yeah, that was straight. I mean, because I knew I was coming home.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to be left too far behind. I didn't want people to look at me like, man, this nigga done 24 years. This nigga slow as a... Now I'm home after doing 24 years, and I'm teaching people about their iPhone.
Yeah.
Right. I'm telling them about different accessories that they can access on their own phone. They don't know. So, but every day is a struggle.
Yeah.
But the struggle is beautiful, because I have had many worse days being incarcerated than I have being free. The golden, for me, I can only speak for myself. My golden rule to success right now is staying focused. But I'm gonna put words and reasoning behind the focus, right? We all try to stay focused, but things happen. Shit come up. This happened, that happened. You get sidetracked. You have to put it to the side. I mean, sometimes we never get back to it. So this is what I do. Okay. In 6 months, I'm going to write down 3 things. And I'm just going to focus on those 3 things. I'm going to try to accomplish 1 of 3 within the time span I set for myself. Right? And as I'm doing that, every 2 weeks, sometime once a month, sometime 3 and 4 times a day, what I do is I go back and I look at my list of 3 and I evaluate where I'm at on that list.
Yeah.
How far is the yardstick of me accomplishing this 1 to 3 or 2? Know what I mean? And try to, okay, well, cool. I'm this far, so I'm halfway there. So that means, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm this far on number 2. So number 1 and number 3, I'm just gonna hold on because I'm almost finished with number 2. So I'm gonna put all my energy into number 2.
Exactly.
And get it where it need to be at. Then I choose another one. I mean, but if I can do all 3 of them at one time and move that yardstick consistently, then I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, because talking about my situation in my life, because my life has been crazy, but it has been a blessing to me.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. Some guys it's not. Some guys can't talk about
Yeah.
it. I mean, and that's
I reach out to people, they be like, yeah, they can't talk about it. They don't want to revisit it.
Right. They
all
want to
that.
leave it where it's at. My suggestion and my opinion, don't work.
Let it out.
Yeah, you have to let it out because that's how you heal. I told
And you
like,
can't be ashamed of your journey, like,
no,
Yeah, whatever you go through is meant to happen.
and seek counseling.
Yeah.
I get counseling. I go to counseling. I think counseling is as black men we don't do that. As black couples,
Exactly.
we don't do that. You know what I mean? Me and my wife is not a communicator, right? And I understand why, because she have never been a communicator in her relationships. Previous relationships, she lose the power of her voice. And when a woman lose the power of their voice, they don't really have anything to hold on to in a relationship.
Yeah.
The man gonna do whatever he wanna do when he wanna do it. Or she ain't gonna say shit. She just gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And expect me to assume
You good.
that I know what she talking about. So with us building the way we have been building, she is opening up more.
That's
She's more
good.
communicative. And I push that. if I'm doing something, I mean, because God couldn't have blessed me with no other better woman, because I ain't gonna lie, she be on my ass about everything.
Yeah.
She be tripping. Real talk. I'm talking about any little. Don't pronounce that word like that. Don't do this. Don't. People always, and me living a fast life all my life, I need somebody to pull me, slow me down. So we are great together because we are the direct opposite of one another. I like to move, and you know what I mean? But good thing is all my movements now are good.
Productive, yeah.
And that's right, they're productive. Good word. I like that. I gotta put that in there. They're productive, and and I understand exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not moving this hastily and don't have a vision. I mean, I asked baby girl today. I asked my daughter today, you understand the vision? Because she about to be 16 in October. I asked her today when we came from church. Now, mind you, I came to Louisiana for 2 reasons. Because I got to go back. When I leave here, I'm going back to Texas, where I'm working at. I came down here for church, to go to church this morning and come here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All the time. And this only my little small way of thinking. If I can drive 4 hours to go to a job, which I don't drive 4 hours because I'm staying in the Airbnb in Texas.
Okay.
But if I can drive 4 hours and go to a job, why I can't drive 4 hours back and come give God his? Yeah. And that's who been setting it all for me. That's who been putting it, I mean, putting it in my life every day.
Yeah.
So
that's a commitment too.
That's a commitment. You know what I mean? And a lot of us formerly incarcerated FIPs, a lot of us we commit ourselves to things that's momentarily, because when we get out, so much going on, people pulling you in so many different areas. But once life slow down and you find and you realize that, shit, I ain't tuition, everybody tuition. Yeah. We all have problems. We all going through something. That's when reality set in, and the things that you committed yourself to at that moment, they moved on. Now you have to readjust your commitments. Yeah. I mean, so it's as I said earlier, it's a struggle every day. But the struggle is so beautiful. The struggle is so beautiful because God can allow you to wake up every day and be productive and do something. Yeah. I mean, it's the king now.
So we always close with a message for the youth, because that's where my podcast is leading, for like a nonprofit for the youth. So what message would you give the youth today on just staying out of trouble, staying out of prison?
Number one is, and it's hard to say because sometimes we have to see it, but try not to follow anybody if they're not leading you the right way. Yeah. Try not to follow, and it's hard. I know it's hard because all your partners gonna look at you funny. You're not gonna be the most liked out by the girls. But realize those same partners and those same girls, when you go to prison, 10 out of 10, they're not gonna be there. Some of your partners gonna be right on side you. They're gonna have new partners. So for the young people nowadays, they have social media at their fingertips. Create your own. Create your own brand. Yeah. Create your own business. It's easy. You play on you play on your phones all day long. You watch content from other people all day long. Learn how to monetize your own content and get Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, get all those people to send you a check. Exactly. They send checks out. I get one.
I'm monetized too. I don't be posting enough no more. I gotta do better.
You have to. You have to. Yeah. Queen.
I know.
Queen. Listen. So for the young people, monetize yourself. Monetize yourself and do not stop being who you truly are. Your identity matters. How you feel matters. What you care about matters. And to the adults that's in the youth life, listen at them. It may not seem like they talking about something, but they talking about something because they talking about what's going on right now today.
Exactly. True.
That's what matters to them.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't worrying about, yes, mama, you old. They don't do that. When the young people say, look, they don't do that like that no more, just be quiet and listen.
Mm-hmm.
They about to tell you how they do it nowadays.
Exactly.
And when you equivalate what they do nowadays to what we done in the past, it's the same thing. It's just more savvy. It's more, they got more spoken to it now.
Yeah.
So all the young people, just stay true to who you are. And like I say, use your social media platform to monetize yourself, because there's nothing like having your own money at 10, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, true.
There's nothing like having your own money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that'll be, like I say, that'll be it. Also, I'm sorry. In my local community, which is Iberville, True Civic Leadership Association, one of the nonprofits, and we're going to talk about that in the next podcast. Mm-hmm. One of the same one that I started in prison, I have it out here.
Okay.
And it's certified. We have a youth seminar, a youth conference. Our inaugural one was last year. We had 16 young men and women participate. 8 out of the 16 graduated.
Okay.
And we bless their game and we keep up with their families. Mm-hmm. And we do a 2-prong disc sometime before the end of this year, because it's not going to be this summer because of what I have going on. Me and my team, we working on something right now. We putting together, we're going to have another one in Iberville Parish as well. It's going to be a 2-prong this year. We're going to work with the kids and the parent, because I cannot tell your child or anybody's child how to stay in school when the mama can't read. Mm-hmm. The mama can't help the child with the homework. So we have to dig a little deeper. We have to extend our resources to the parents as well. If they don't have a GED, at least get them in some type of adult literacy class online. That way don't nobody have to know your business. Yeah. Know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't want nobody to know that.
Mm-hmm. Or they don't have time to go there.
Right. We can do it discreetly, and we can make it, because we are looking into tutorers to try to hire as part-time on board, which is school teachers. Yeah. They sign, and they can go and they can make time for the parents to tutor them one-on-one outside of the child. That's why whenever we have the seminars, we have it outside of the parent.
Yeah.
Because that way they can be more open. Mm-hmm. And after they graduate, whoever may graduate, they get certificates, and we always plan a trip for them.
Okay.
So, I mean, we always take them somewhere, somewhere educational where they can learn about Black culture, like the Legacy Museum in Selma, Alabama. Mm-hmm. So they can learn, go visit Martin Luther King old house as a museum, so they can learn about the Black, so they can learn about the essence of who they really are, and the shoulders who they stand on top of. They stand on top of some great shoulders. Yeah. So they have to inspire to be great. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we appreciate all of that info.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we put the information down below so you guys can get those contacts. Okay. But I want to thank you, Shane.
Yes.
Or Beverly.
Yeah.
For coming in today. And make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we'll have a new episode every other Wednesday. Peace.